15 years ago, in 2006, I was still working in China, and that's where I started to sense the calling to the priesthood. And I said, Lord, are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? You're really calling me to be a priest? Like, you know my weaknesses, you know my sinfulness, you know my imperfection. And at the back of my mind, I have this idea that those who are called to be priests are highly intellectual, um, very good in preaching, and also very holy. And I said, I don't fit those criteria. I said, Lord, why are you calling me? But since being ordained now for 5 years, now I know why. The Lord chose me not because of my strength. The Lord chose me because of my weakness. And and that's why right now, whenever I would preach, I would just share out of my weakness. Because if I preach out of my strength, I could impress you, right? But if I preach out of my weakness, you could connect with me. You could relate with me, right? And and that's also with the Lord. In our first reading today, so it says here, for it was fitting that we should have such a high priest, holy, blameless, undefiled, separated from sinners, and exalted above the heavens. So that's Jesus. Okay, but here we're talking about his perfection because he needs to offer a perfect sacrifice in atonement for all our sins. And that's what we're talking about here. But he's not like separated that we couldn't relate with him. Because in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15, what does it says there? For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who in every respect has been tested as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore approach the throne of grace with boldness, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. The Lord's divinity make him as a perfect sacrifice, but in his humanity, it makes him relatable. And he could also empathize with us. And also that's also the same with us priests, right? Like if we're like superheroes, no weaknesses, it's all strength. Like you couldn't relate with us. Us also, we couldn't empathize with you. Because we're all strength. So the Lord permitted weaknesses in priests so that people could relate with us and us to empathize with the people. Okay? So and that's the beauty of thing, right? We're all on the same boat. We're all work in progress. And that's what, hopefully for us priests, we need to grow in holiness. And we need to set a good example also for others. But it's also connecting with the weakness of the lay people. Journeying together as we tread this road towards perfection, towards holiness. We journey together. Okay, so we need to empathize with one another also. So let's also have this great confidence to the Lord that despite his perfection, we could relate with him. Because he was tempted just like we are. In his weakness, he was tempted. That's why he could relate with our weakness. Okay? And he's there also. He says, my grace is sufficient. And his grace is always available to us. So, let's have that confidence. Let's have that trust in the Lord's great mercy in all of us.